Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Today I wanted to talk about this. Every great story has a tough chapter. So think about what I'm going to talk about there. So relax your body, slow things down. It's a micro meditation. Doesn't take more than 5 to 10 seconds. Let the body relax, let your breathing slow down. And in that short time, you can start to really settle things down. Sorry about that. My phone's blowing up. All right. So, every great story has a tough chapter. All right. And what I mean by that is you're right in it. If you're struggling with your health, with pain, with other symptoms, you're in your tough chapter. And think of your story as the hero's journey. And like any big hero type of movie, you look at Rocky. He was down on his luck. He was a poor bum fighter from Philadelphia. Nobody knew him, all this stuff. And nobody believed in him. And he got his shot, and he was the hero at the end, right? Everybody loved that story. But the tough chapters were in the beginning, or when he was training and when he was going through things. Any hero movie has a tough chapter. So what I'd like to do is encourage you to look at whatever shit you're going through right now as your tough chapter. Maybe things were pretty good and turned to shit, and you've been in it for a while or a long while. And look, I'll acknowledge some of you have been in a tough life, right? But the hero's journey always has hope that you can create a better future. And so even if you've been in the thick of things for much of your life, or the recent part of your life, instead of looking back and going, look at how much of my life I've lost, look at how much your life is ahead of you. And if you implement some of these proven concepts, these proven practices of teaching your overprotective, scared brain that you're actually okay, it's predictable and reliable that you're going to get better. And so instead of looking at your past as a projection of what your future is going to be, or if your present really sucks right now, and I'll acknowledge it, it probably does for many of you, that doesn't have to be a reflection of what your future looks like. People are getting better all over the world, not just from my content and my approach, but all sorts of people are doing better because of this mind-body work. And so, start to view whatever you're going through as your tough chapter in the story of your life. But the story of your life gets you pulling through these tough chapters with grit and courage and commitment and determination and confidence and self-compassion. Part of the tough journey, part of the tough story, or the tough chapter is a lot of us beat ourselves up. We can learn to support ourselves as if we matter, because we do. We really do. Your responsibility is to care for yourself. It is. That's your job. And at the end of the day, just ask yourself, am I taking care of myself, or am I treating myself like I hate myself? Because that's not going to help. It's not going to help you get through these mind-body symptoms. The perceived danger response will perceive self-critical judgment and criticism as an attack and dangerous. We don't want to keep doing that, folks. It's not beneficial. So understand, if you're going through a really, really tough time in your life, it's okay. It's where you are. It's not your fault. But it's time for you to really start to see, if I make some significant commitments to myself, to treat myself better, to start viewing the possibilities and probabilities that I'm going to get better, as opposed to wallowing in the negative, my life sucks place. And I'm not saying any of that's your fault. I was there for a long time. You know, I was a back pain guy. I'd be glad to talk about it to anybody. You know, that's who I was. It was my identity. So if you're going through a tough chapter, know that your story's not done being written yet. And the cool part is you're the author. You get to decide how your story finishes. And there's a predictable formula. You know, and I did a video on this, but clarity, knowing what's going on, plus being unbothered by symptoms, because they're false alarms, they're not real problems. Clarity plus being unbothered by symptoms equals recovery. That's your simple formula. And if you're bothered by symptoms, make sure, am I really clear that this is a mind-body condition? TMS, perceived danger pain or symptoms. Get that clarity. Grab onto it. Hold on to it. Commit to that. I'm not going to waver from that. Because when you do that and you recognize that these are false alarms being sounded by an overprotective but misinformed brain, you're going to realize that it is easier, not easy, but easier to be unbothered by the symptoms because you know they're temporary, you know they're false alarms, you know you're not really sick or broken, that your body's actually not the cause of the symptoms because you've done your homework, you understand what causes symptoms, you've done the assessments, you've accepted them, right? And if you haven't, please do. Because when you do, that's when you can start making some progress. Because if you haven't accepted that, and you still think your body's a problem, that you're sick, that you're whatever is going on in your body, it's going to be really hard to teach the brain to turn off the symptoms because you're still convinced the body's a problem. So, super important, folks. If you're in the middle of your tough chapter, or chapters, you know, maybe the first half of the book sucked, or the first 2/3 of the book sucked, you can rewrite a happy ending. The warrior is victorious at the end. You will be too. Commit to it. Know you can do it. Right? You will be victorious. Don't be a victim. Be victorious. Because even if you struggle with believing that you can do this, I'm telling you, you can. I've seen some of the most terrified, anxious, scared people with the wildest symptoms pull themselves out of that tough chapter and write some really cool new chapters. If you want to watch some success stories, go to painfreeUseSuccess.com and you'll see them there. So, don't worry about this tough chapter. Know that it's just a chapter. It's not the entire book, and it's not the ending of the book. You're the author of your book. And it's a hero's journey. And so, how would you behave today if you knew you were the hero in your own story? You'd probably have a little bit more courage. So you can do this. I know you can do this. You will do this. And keep on smiling, folks. You've got this. And as always, I will see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Love you.